All right, we are recording. We are live. This is Barstool Units, episode 29. We have returned from Chicago. I'm Coach Doug's. With me, as always, the venerable Frank the Tank Fleming. Frank, long time no see. How you doing?
Oh, the Mets just make me so fucking miserable. Every fucking day they're lifeless. Tonight the Mets had 8 batters go 3 on 3-0 counts, and 8 batters swinging on 3-0 counts. All 8 of them either grounded out softly or popped up.
Sounds like there might be a batting issue.
Well, the pitching's going down to shitters too.
Yeah.
They're now 3-6 in their last 9. The 3 wins are the one we saw when it was 1-0. One they won 2-1, and one where they were down to their last strike, and the Reds brought in a pitcher that the Mets actually hit good. For some reason, I don't know why they brought him in. They are virtually on a 9-game losing streak.
So this is tough because I'm always trying to be positive and everything, and usually at the end of your little opening rants about the Mets being bad, I ask, well, what place are they in? I feel like they're probably still in first place, right?
They're the worst first place team ever.
Are they one game in first? I mean,
it's now the lead, which was at one time 6 games, is now down to 1.5 games over the Phillies, 2.5 likely over the Braves.
Yeah, but you've got a long stretch coming up against some pretty good teams.
Yeah, and the Mets are so far this season 2-6 against the Marlins. And the 2 wins they have, one was by a dropped elbow, and the other one was by a dropped fly ball.
Yeah, I don't really know. I usually I'm pretty positive about this kind of stuff, but
and this owner is I don't know if I could trust him.
That's the biggest thing.
After he let Kumar Rocker go, I don't know if I could trust him.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. We talked about this a few times. We talked, especially when we were in Chicago, we talked about the Ricketts. Carl has mentioned to me a few times how the Cubs organization works as far as money. Just because they own it doesn't mean they have unlimited money to spend on the Cubs. When Steve Cohen came in, I thought the reason that a lot of the owners in Major League Baseball didn't want him was because he was going to be, the new kid on the block with all the money, and he was just going to throw money at the Mets.
Well, they put Sandy Alderson in charge. Sandy Alderson was Billy Bean's Moneyball mentor. He ran the Mets over the last 10 years, basically holding and then he retired, and now he's back.
Mm-hmm.
And in his tenure, he did help build a team that somehow went on a World Series run in 2015. But the Mets have only had 3 winning seasons since 2008. One of them includes 2019 when they had a stretch where they won 13 of 14. And if you take away that 13 of 14 stretch, they would have also finished below 500. They only finished if I could recall, 87, 75 or something like that.
Yeah.
They had a real good stretch in July and August, a 4-week stretch. And this year, they had a 7-game winning streak. If you take away that 7-game winning streak, this team is basically 10 games below 500.
Yeah, and in 3rd or 4th place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason they're in first place is that the division is awful. It is an awful division where basically
like the NFC.
The Atlanta Braves keep getting to 500 and then losing, getting to 500 and then losing, getting to 500 and losing.
Yeah, I don't understand. And if you're a billionaire and you buy a sports team, obviously there's money to be made for sure. So it's a business investment. But when you buy a sports team, it's like buying a toy. I don't understand if you have billions of dollars, and especially in baseball, when you don't have a salary cap, I don't understand what stops you from spending a couple extra $1 million here and there.
I mean, they got a lot of free agents coming up. Marcus Stroman's a free agent.
Yeah.
Noah Syndergaard, who has yet to throw a pitch this year, is a free agent. Michael Canofor is a free agent. Javier Baez is a free agent, and you just traded one of your top draft picks. And it looks very much like there's no shot they're going to hold on.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, Javier Baez is now playing with a heel spur.
It's an expensive rental, possibly.
And if Pete Crow Armstrong overcomes his shoulder surgery and turns into a superstar, then basically you just got a rental for a season that went down in flames, and you're gonna have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, I don't understand I don't understand billionaire owners not. It's like I said, especially in Major League Baseball where there's no market cap.
This will be his first full off season.
Yeah.
He regarded the Francisco Lindor as his big splash deal last year. He now needs to do more.
Is he? Well, I mean, is he looking at that and saying, "I've made a mistake," and is that halting his decisions now?
I don't know.
We need to get him on the pod.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, for right now, the Mets are in first. The reason I'm not, overly optimistic or positive about it is because I even see Clem and KFC talking. They seem to be waning towards
Me.
not really your demeanor or your passion level, I should say, but definitely towards that outcome.
I mean, they never passed. They never passed the eyeball test for me all year. They never passed the eyeball test.
Yeah, when we went for the doubleheader, what was that? Monday, so that was a week ago.
Yeah,
it was tough to watch. It was fun. It was fun to be Citi Field and everything. It was fun to go to a new stadium and check everything out. But that was a rough 14 to watch.
And every Met game is like that. Every Met win is like that.
Yeah.
When they lose, it's usually it's even worse.
Yeah. Well, for right now, they're in first.
I mean, it's been a solid 2 weeks since the Mets have played a good, solid game.
Yeah.
Where they actually look good in all facets of the game. It's been a solid 2 weeks.
What's their run differential?
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I'm sure if that's the right jargon to use.
No, that is.
Yeah.
Let me see what the run differential is. It's actually now gone into negative territory. The Mets run differential after today's loss and losing 5 of their last 6 is now minus 11. Now,
sound great.
I don't know if it's just the last. It's the last 10 games that have been especially bad. That has dropped them from being like plus 7 or 8 to minus 11.
Yeah. Well, that's the Mets. It seems like that's we'll see if that continues.
Let me see if I could if it's like I believe it is. Hold on. Okay, 404. Let me see. 404. Only the Pittsburgh Pirates, and we've seen that team too.
Yeah.
Only the Pittsburgh Pirates have fewer runs scored than the Mets.
So yeah. So I mean that's just one stat that might mitigate or not mitigate, but support what your belief is here that the Mets are not a great.
And their pitching hasn't been good lately. And they were the team with the fewest runs allowed. Now about 4 teams have passed them.
Yeah. Well, did that start when DeGrom went down?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of makes sense.
And Taiwan Walker, who was a All-Star in the first half, is 0-3 with an ERA over 12 since the All-Star break.
That sounds high.
And he actually gave up a home run in the All-Star game too. He gave up 6 home runs before the All-Star break. He's given up 7 since, and 8 if you count the home run he gave up in the All-Star game.
Yeah. Here's a quick question: does the All-Star game stats count towards anything?
No.
No, it's like an exhibition kind of match.
Yeah.
All right, I figured. Just had to ask. Wasn't positive. Well, so that's it is what it is. We'll see if the Mets can hold on to first. Let's talk positive. Let's talk about some good things happening. We just had a great trip to Chicago. I'm a big fan of Chicago. I love the city.
Was a hell of a trip.
Yeah. So after the somewhat bearable doubleheader, we left Tuesday. Stopped in Pittsburgh along the way. It's halfway. It's 6 hours. And PNC Park, great park.
Great park, but the worst game we saw all week.
Yeah, it was bad. What was it? 8-2 or something like that?
No, it was 9-0.
Was it?
Yes.
I don't know why I thought Pittsburgh scored. Ugh.
No. It was bad. I mean,
I think it was
they had 8 runs in the first 2 innings.
That's what it was.
The Pittsburgh starter didn't even retire. Only allowed how many runs did he allow? He allowed 4 runs in the first, 4 runs in the second, and he didn't even retire a batter.
Yeah, there were still 3 outs to be had in the second inning. But I think the final score was 9-1.
No, it was 9-0.
9-0?
Yeah, if I could recall, unless they got like a run in the 9th inning that I kind of missed.
Yeah, no, I thought it might have been like a Pittsburgh home run, but
let me see. You might be right. Let me see.
Either way, not.
Well, it was. I mean, it was as ugly as baseball game as I've seen in a while. There was really almost like no juice in that plate in that place.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't.
Yeah, it was 9-0. 9-0 was the final.
Hey, well, I mean, you can't expect there to be. I mean, they're the last place team, right?
Yep, and the only team that they've played good against is the Mets.
Yeah, so maybe if the Mets were in town, it would have been a sellout crowd or something like that.
Yeah, it would have been full of Met fans.
going to go. Well, so not a great game, but a wonderful ballpark, beautiful ballpark, the Riverwalk there and everything, the downtown. But yeah, so Pittsburgh was fun. PNC, we didn't really get a chance to check out the city or anything. But PNC Park was a beautiful park. And the next day we were in Chicago.
Chicago, yeah, we finally made it to Chicago on Wednesday night.
Yep, Wednesday night. And did we have anything? I think we just went to the hotel. I was kind of 6 hours of driving. I was ready to go to bed.
Well, Ohio and Indiana, we went through those towns. We did made a stop. Did a Raw Dog episode.
Oh yeah. There's Frank. You got so much content from this weekend or from this trip. I mean, not only the hot dogs at the ballpark, but I mean, we must have stopped at least 3 or 4 different places.
Yeah, we stopped we stopped on the road in Ohio on the way there. Mm-hmm. We stopped in Indiana on the way back.
Yep.
Of course, we went through the Hall of Fame on the way back.
Of course, and we'll have to go back. But Chicago, once we got to Chicago, I mean, we had the Cubs game Thursday, card show Friday, Chicago food Friday night, card show Saturday, Chicago White Sox game Saturday night. I enjoyed Wrigley Field. The seats were tiny. The seats were not built for units. They were not built for units. They were definitely built in the early 1900s. But Big Cat hooked us up with some great seats right behind home plate, and that was a fun game too. I think it was 7-4 was the final score. Reds won, but it was a fun game. 7-4.
7-4. Reds had an early lead. Cubs rallied to take the lead and then gave it right back.
Yeah. But Wrigley Field. I tell you what, Wrigley Field was cool. Wrigleyville, like the actual like the walk from Barstool Chicago office down to Wrigley Field. I mean, what a cool place! Just open bars and everything. And I kept questioning myself. It's oh these New Jersey electric lights going out. But yeah, so it was about 10 blocks or whatever. But I kept questioning. Like it's a
That's the night that the lights went out in Jersey. That's the night that they hung an innocent man.
I hope not. But I questioned because there were a lot of people. There had to have been at least 10,000 people at that Cubs game.
What was that? 10,000 at the Cubs game?
Yeah, there had to have been at least 10,000 people at that Cubs game.
Oh no, that stadium was full.
So 20,000, closer to 20,000.
More like 30,000.
No, really?
Yeah,
I guess so.
Baseball stadium, Wrigley's one of the smaller venues, and they seat over 35,000 when it's sell out.
Yeah, I'm thinking minor league. I'm thinking minor league. There were 6,000 people in Lehigh Valley, which was kind of low attendance.
I mean, there might have been there wasn't 10,000 people in PNC.
Okay, there we go. So my question was, what do all of these people do for work? All of those people, they were okay. So let's say there were 30,000 people.
Well, it's not like it was the days of Lee Elia.
Yeah.
When Lee Elia gave the greatest rant of all time.
Yeah.
Well, if all these motherfuckers had a job, they'd understand what it's like to be alive. All these motherfuckers going out here not supporting us could kiss my ass and you could fucking print it.
Oh, man. You can print it.
I mean, Lee Elia, just the greatest rant. People work for a living. Not these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers come out here for day fucking baseball.
I remember hearing that right, for day baseball. There were a lot of people there. It was coming.
Well, the Cubs now are like every other team, but they do play a few more day games than most teams.
Yeah.
Maybe the Yankees play just about as many day games. The Yankees have a lot of day games too.
Yeah.
But the Cubs, they used to play nothing but day games. They got the lights in 1988, and for the first 20 years, they had a cap that they couldn't play more than 20 night games. Then this neighborhood association said that no, we don't want that many night games here. Gotcha. But over the years, the neighborhood changed. The Ricketts brought the neighborhood practically, tore down a lot of the buildings around it, and built up hotels and restaurants, and different things around there.
Yeah,
brought out the apartments basically, and now they have the Wrigley Rooftops now. The Wrigley Rooftops used to be people going up on top of the roofs of their apartment or watching in their windows. But then Ricketts came in, renovated the stadium, and when he renovated the stadium, he set the bleachers higher.
Oh, really?
So it actually blocks the people who used to be able to watch from their apartment windows.
That sucks.
Then he put up scoreboards and a video board, which were never put up before at Wrigley Field. There was never an electric scoreboard. There was never a video board.
Yeah.
And much to my chagrin, he added a sound system.
Yeah, that was, and we've talked about this before, but I'm right there with you. The loud music, I don't really care when it is. It's just the music.
Wrigley used to be a stadium that was exclusively organ, and they try to play they play like the popular music, but there was an organ.
Yeah,
and it was a tradition that the organ was the only thing that was heard.
Yeah.
Everyone's walk-up music was a different organ-like sound. And then they started adding a sound system. Now it's like every other ballpark with the sound system.
Yeah.
And whoever was running the sound system on Thursday has a what would you say, what would be the term, a gallow humor.
Yeah. It was
at the expense of the Cubs. Because
that.
Yes, in the ninth inning, the game where basically everyone in that stadium was like they were at a funeral.
Yeah.
Was the atmosphere, especially with Baez actually playing. He did get traded to the Mets. Bryant didn't play. Rizzo didn't play. The two of them didn't play. I'm going to get back to Rizzo in a second. Something I just learned tonight. But Baez didn't play. Rizzo didn't play. And fans deserved a chance to say goodbye to those players. They didn't get that. In fact, down 6-3 in like the eighth inning, they sent up the pitcher to hit instead of having one of them come out to pinch hit. They wouldn't even let them pinch hit. Now, Rizzo was probably traded at the end of the game because he was on his way to New York after the game ended, and Bryant was traded the next day. Give the fans a chance to say goodbye to these guys. And that was wrong. And then they play, and of all things, they play separate ways by Journey in the ninth inning.
Yep.
You heard it. I looked over to Ari and said, I can't believe they're playing this.
Yeah.
This is like slapping these fans in the face.
Yeah. It's yeah, I mean that must be. I mean, Carl wasn't there, but Carl got to see the last night game, or the last game period. Was there with the Cubs. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think it's different. It's different for football. We don't have these. At least I've never experienced anything like that where, you show up to a game and the guy was here yesterday and he's gone today.
Baseball has a trade deadline. Basketball has a trade deadline. Hockey has a trade deadline. But there's not a feeling like the baseball trade deadline.
Yeah.
It's the finality of it.
Yeah. Well, there were still plenty of people there in the stands. There were plenty of people in the bars in Wrigleyville. I enjoyed it. I'll definitely want to go back to a Cubs game for sure. The White Sox game we went to Saturday night
was
completely different. Not in a bad way at all.
No, actually, that was the best game we saw all week.
It was definitely the best game. Definitely. What was the final score? 12-11?
I got it short in my wire. Hold it.
Yeah.
Is it working?
Yep. Well, now it's not working.
I got it short in my fucking wire.
All right, we're good to go now. No, that was definitely the best game.
Right,
I think
hold on, let me
12-11 was the final score.
Do I have here it is. Get my headphones back in to my laptop now. All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
I guess that's not where the what is wrong with this thing?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. There it is.
But yeah, so going out, it was a bit of a drive, maybe 30, 45 minutes out to Sox Field. Was a guaranteed rate
field. The name is bad, but the park they did a lot of good improvements to it.
Yeah. I tell you what, obviously best game we saw for sure. 12-11 final score, going back and forth, grand slam, catcher hit 3 home runs.
First 3 home runs of his career.
Yeah. But the food selection was very good with the Chicago White Sox game.
Well, Citi Field's got a good food selection too.
Well, okay, and we might not have. I think, I just got a hot dog at Citi Field, so I'm not. Yeah,
Well, you had the pastrami sandwich at Citi Field.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. You did. Oh, sorry, not Citi Field, Wrigleyville. Citi Field pastrami sandwich is good. I'm talking about Wrigley compared.
Yes.
Wrigley with White Sox.
The White Sox do have a greater selection, and just like the Mets have a better selection than Yankee Stadium. When you go to Yankee Stadium, you'll be surprised and disappointed about the food selection at Yankee Stadium.
As long as they have nachos, I'm good.
They don't have nachos.
That's so stupid. That's crazy. That's crazy not to have nachos.
Abraham literally went all over the park, and he was asking all the people, I don't know where his nacho is. I don't know where nachos is. Could not find a single nacho in Yankee Stadium.
That's wild. I mean, it's not even that's not even a crazy concession. And it's just chips and cheese. That's all it is.
Yeah, sometimes you could even get the beef for the chicken with it too, and
Yeah.
the salsa sauce.
Yeah. Maybe some jalapenos on top. But yeah, well, the White Sox game was definitely the best game we saw. It was just fun to be there. You could tell that was the team. Like the fans were all in on it and everything. It was a slugfest for sure. Great game. Yeah, really.
I mean, you saw the White Sox, a first place team that actually genuinely deserves to be in first place. It's fun. They're in the game, even when they fall behind, you feel they could come back, and if they lose, they're still up in the standings. You don't have a impending sense of doom. You don't have a sense that bad's gonna happen at every turn. You don't have a sense that something bad's gonna happen the next moment. It was a total nightmare with the Mets right now, and with the White Sox, though, you don't get that sense, and that's the difference between a team that should be in first place and a team that just is a poser.
Yeah, even when the White Sox went down, granted they went down like after a grand slam, so in a couple home runs, so it was like they weren't scoring, but even when they went down, the feel in the park, like the attitude and the whatever you want to call it, didn't change.
And the exploding scoreboard, they're the first to do it, and they're the best to do it.
Yeah, I was surprised when we were talking about that because I noticed the pinwheels. The pinwheels really don't match the rest of the stadium at all. But I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what they were for until you explained it to me. When you explained it to me, it's like, okay, that makes sense.
They had an owner, Bill Veeck, who was the master of promotion. He actually tried to buy the Phillies in 1943, and he said that he was going to stock them with players from the Negro League. And basically, he was prevented from buying the team by Commissioner Landis.
Because of who he wanted to put on the team?
Yeah. So Landis dies, and that's one of those deaths that actually was a good thing. It's not a coincidence that Landis died in 1945 or 1944, and Jackie Robinson was signed a short time later. Yeah. It's not a coincidence. He literally said there'll be black players in Major League Baseball over my dead body, and damn it, they had to do it over his dead body.
Oh no!
Yeah. Of all the cancellations in 2020, this is the one I agree with. They used to put his name and face on the MVP trophy.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was the Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis American and National League MVP awards. And it would be like a plaque with his face on it. I don't know what they're going to do with it to replace it, but it's now just called the MVP for now. National League MVP, American League MVP.
That sounds fine.
Yeah, it does. Nobody actually uses the title. The only title people really use is the Cy Young Award.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that the Rookie of the Year award, and this is a good one actually, is the Jackie Robinson Rookie of the Year award?
I like that.
And the award's a plaque, and with a figure that depicts Jackie Robinson on it.
Yeah. There's no reason to name everything after. Not everything have a sponsor or be named after anything. So
no, but Kennesaw Mountain Landis established the MVP awards in the 1930s.
Yeah.
So he stuck his face on it, and last year, basically everyone said, you know what, this guy wasn't a good guy.
Yeah. Can you imagine being a player getting the MVP trophy and like the hell,
Yeah, well, over the years, no one really paid attention. But last year, when the spotlight got turned on, everyone finally said, okay, Landis has to be taken off the award.
Yeah. Well, Chicago game, the White Sox game, although they lost, great game.
But the exploding scoreboard was something else.
Yeah. It was just a different atmosphere.
And Bill Veeck, the same guy that developed that exploding scoreboard, brought the Indians. The Indians were good for a few years. he got a divorce, so he had to sell the team. Then he brought the St. Louis Browns, and while owning the Browns, he continued promotions. He had manager be the fan night, and the manager, someone will hold a sign. Should the manager take the picture out? And everyone will hold a sign, yes or no. It was you be the manager night, and he actually signed a guy named Eddie Goodell. Eddie Goodell to bat in one game, and then he was banned from baseball forevermore. Eddie Goodell was a little person. He sent Eddie Goodell to the plate, and the pitcher couldn't hit the strike zone, and he walked off 4 pitches. And there's a famous picture of little Eddie Goodell at the plate, and the catcher with his glove at his head, like couldn't hit the strike zone.
Yeah.
Little Eddie Goodell, and he had the uniform number 1/8. So he buys the White Sox, and the White Sox have some success, go to 1959 World Series. So he decides in 1960 that he wanted to jazz things up. So that's why he invented the exploding scoreboard.
Yeah.
He put names on the back of his players. On hot days, he would set up a sprinkler in the stands for fans to cool off at.
Nice.
And he had his players wearing short pants in 1976. That one didn't work. Players hated it.
Yeah.
He had designed awful uniforms that players hated. They actually they were like open button-down collars.
Yeah.
And blousy looking shirts. That looked like, it had like a 2-button here and it had like a wide collar like this. It looked like a big ass polo shirt.
We'll have to look up and see if we can find.
Well, I can send you a picture.
Yeah.
And I can send you a picture of those shirts with the short pants.
Hey,
and
trying everything.
Bill Veeck's last promotion was the one that had the biggest pop cultural impact.
Was that the disco?
Disco Demolition Night. And he left that was actually not his idea. That was his son's idea. His son decided to bring in a disc jockey named Steve Dahl to blow up disco records, because disco had just become like just too overblown.
Yeah. So you just wanted to destroy the records.
Yep, and that led to a riot and a forfeit and just mass notoriety. It helped. Like, everyone said, you know what? Yeah, disco's too much. And the Bee Gees basically became toxic, that they couldn't get a #1 hit for like the next 15 years. So they started like writing songs, and that was the only way they still had hits, is they wrote songs for other artists, including they wrote "Islands in the Stream" for Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton.
Nice.
So it was like they still had hits. They were still like big songwriters, but they were so toxic that no one wanted to even like associate with them. And one day, what you would call the Bee Gees were talking. He says, "Yeah, Steve Dahl killed disco." and Steve Dahl basically so the clip of that says, "Good, mission accomplished."
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, that I'm sure that's like somebody talking shit about Dave Portnoy, or that's like that Payne guy calling Dave Portnoy a little bitch. He's like, oh yeah, let's bring it. That's exactly what I wanted.
I mean, the problem with disco was it just got too oversaturated.
Yeah, everybody was discoing.
Everyone was discoing. They even had Daffy Duck do the disco duck, or it was someone that sounded like Daffy. Disco duck.
That sounds miserable. I'm glad that
it actually was a #1 hit.
That doesn't really surprise me. I mean, Eddie Murphy, My Girl Likes to Party All the Time,
Yeah, that made, like, I don't know if that made it to #1, but it definitely made it into the top 5.
Yeah, it made it up there. There's those songs like that.
Every now and then, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you know what song I remember. reaching number one. Of course, Michael Jackson was huge in the early to mid '80s, and riding that coattails was Weird Al Yankovic, who actually went to in the top 5 with "Eat It."
Eat It. Yeah, yeah. That might be one of the best satirical songs. I mean,
well, the best Weird Al satirical song to me, the two best are "Amish Paradise."
Yeah.
And "Like a Surgeon," sung to Madonna's "Like a Virgin."
Yeah, yeah. Well, what's cool about Weird Al is he actually reaches out to them to ask for their permission. So it's all in good fun. He's not. It's all good fun.
Well, I like his American Pie parody.
I'm not sure if I've heard that one. I probably have.
You probably have. He sings the entire plot from beginning to end. You don't have to watch the movie of Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace.
And it's called American Pie.
Well, it's to Don McLean's American Pie.
Gotcha.
Instead of "Bye Bye American Pie," it's my, there's this Anakin guy. Maybe Vader someday later, but he's just a small fry.
It baffles me that I haven't heard that before. I'll have to take a listen to that.
You have to watch the whole thing. It's and the Jedi, and he's singing it like he's Obi-Wan. He goes, "And the Jedi I admired most met up with Darth Maul. Now he's toast."
I'll have to watch that.
And he's singing, and he's dressed like a Jedi, and he's they got all these Star Wars characters in the cantina behind him, dancing alongside him as he's singing.
All the joke. Well, I'd love to listen to that on the next road trip. But speaking of, it was a road trip. I'm tired. I was tired. It was a lot of driving, but we got a lot of good stuff.
Oh yeah, I can't wait till everything comes out. Can't wait to write the blogs. Can't wait to see what Aria comes out. In fact, right now, I'm uploading. Let me see if it's finished uploading. I uploaded it under the title "Road Trip." In the raw dog file, all the GoPro footage. So if you wanted to take a look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Aria. I trust Aria. It was a fun week. It was a fun week. I trust him. He's going to do really well editing all that together.
Yep. But yeah, the GoPro stuff. I think is going to look really good.
Yeah, it's going to be some great content there. The hot dog videos and everything, and the other things that are not hot dogs. The other food items you tested out and everything. It was crazy. I tell you what, the National Card Show was so much.
Well, let's just put it this way. I went crazy.
A little. I feel like that's a fair assessment. A little crazy. I think there may be some vendors who you put them in the red.
No, I put them in the black.
Yes. Yeah, there we go. You put them in the red turned black for them. Well, they were there Sunday going, man, we didn't really make a lot of money. And then you happened to you came around and said, "Hey, we got our hotel paid for."
He made these. He had a bin of starting lineup action figures that he was selling basically 3 for $10.
Yeah,
that were loose.
Yeah.
Then he had the figures still in the case. And on Sunday he was selling them at half price.
I mean, half price. You got to get them. There's no excuse.
I mean, I was getting players like Dan Marino in his Dolphin jersey and his Pitt jersey.
Yeah.
I got father and son action figures of Bobby Hull and Brett Hull, and we met them.
Yeah. Yeah, for a brief moment, you had a little bit more of a longer conversation than I did.
Yeah, I actually met a fan who took me backstage to sign his Raw Dogging T-shirt, and this guy was providing security for Bobby Hull.
Yeah,
brought me over to meet Bobby Hull, and I spent 10 minutes talking to Bobby Hull, and he's telling me these like war stories, like, oh, I remember that play. I remember that. Oh, I remember going to the Chicago Stadium. The anthem would be so loud. I turned over to my coach, said, "Was it this loud when I played?" And he says, and he turned to me and says, "Yeah, we used when you scored 3, it blew the roof off this place." And then he's talking about how he was at the old Madison Square Garden. The PA announcer announced so and so singing the national anthem, and then someone yelled out, "So and she sucks." And the PA announcer went, "Nonetheless, here she is with the national anthem."
Like the PA announcer acknowledged the comment.
I mean, here's Bobby Hall, 87 years old.
Yeah.
80, like he's 80. What is he? 83. He's in his 80s. So he's this legendary hockey player, and he's talking to me about these old like NHL war stories. That's better. And these guys were there to sign autographs, and I am glad I didn't even think about partaking in that.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
That was a shit show.
long lines.
I didn't go for. Mike Piazza was there. I did not want to participate because it would have taken away from my enjoyment of the show, standing on that line for that long. And well, we had a third with us who was our doing stuff for us, and he ended up on that line, and it was just a horrific experience for him.
Yeah, it's like going to Disney World and you get stuck in line and all day, and like you only get to ride one. You don't even get to ride the ride.
I mean, yeah, it's just ridiculous. It was not handled properly. The autograph signings.
Yeah. So.
And that's why I didn't even want to participate.
Yeah.
I know I did, and it could be that the guy that was signing could have been one of these guys that's really nice and chats with the fans that sign with him.
Yeah, that's
nice, but it's not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
The guys who basically say thank you, shake your hand and sign. Thank you, shake your hand and sign. May not look like their best. And the Devils, when they have autograph signings, which they usually do once a year for the fans, for the season ticket holders, they have a policy. You could take a picture of them signing, but they won't take a picture with you. You have to sign, shake hands, and move. Sign, shake hands, and move.
Yeah.
And the lines actually work.
Yeah.
Whoever was running the show needed to do this. We can't blame any of the people involved who are signing. You got to blame the people who run the show.
Yeah. So the autograph, I did not hear anything great about as far as like the efficiency of the autographs. The rest of the show, no issues. I mean, so many.
Yeah, we made some good contacts that could probably lead to later content. Made some contacts that can lead to greater content.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we met quite a few card shops and memorabilia, holders that are, pretty much right in the New Jersey area. So I'm sure we'll be making some trips out.
We did some. I did a pack opening on my YouTube channel. We did a pack opening on the stage.
Yep. Oh yeah. It was a full. I mean, it was a full week. We were up in the morning. We were either going to a baseball game or we were checking out sports cards and memorabilia. There was a lot of things. I mean, there were quite a few things I found that I just couldn't pull the trigger on. There was. I think I talked to you about it. There was one guy who had a bunch of Super Bowl tickets, and they were PSA graded. So they're slabbed and everything. They were PSA 10s. He had a couple for Super Bowl 39. Now Super Bowl 39 was New England and
against the Eagles
at
Jacksonville.
In Jacksonville. So that's why I want it, is just because it was in Jacksonville. And unless Jacksonville builds a new stadium 20 years from now, we're not getting the Super Bowl again.
Well, from my hearing, a lot of the problem was with Jacksonville was more than just the stadium. Was they ran out of hotel space.
Yeah, well, they didn't just run out of hotel space. They knew they were going to run out of hotel space. They didn't have the hotel space to begin with. They brought in ships.
Yeah, I remember that. And these people who are used to like 5-star treatment were bitching and moaning all weekend.
Yeah. I I've never been on a cruise. I can imagine the cabins are not big.
I have no interest in ever going on a week-long cruise.
No, there's nothing on a cruise that I can't do on dry land.
And I like going on boats, but I want to be on a boat no more than maybe a couple hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you, a boat cruise, it's fun. The Circle Line.
Is that like a little like casino cruise or something?
I don't know if they have casinos on it yet. I suppose one day they will, if they don't have it yet.
And what is this?
It's a boat that goes around Manhattan.
Just around Manhattan.
Just around Manhattan.
Maybe we'll have to check it out one day.
Looking at all the buildings. It's like a 3-hour cruise.
I'm going on a 3-hour tour boat ride with you, Frank. I'm not going to do that.
And then the weather started getting rough. The tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow will be lost.
I am, Frank. I was on board. And I was on board with the idea of going on that boat with you. As soon as you just said it's a 3-hour tour, I will never step foot on.
Come on, it could be worse than the escalator ride.
That's a whole nother story. Well, we'll have to go on the boat ride. Well, these Super Bowl tickets. It was New England, Philadelphia, Super Bowl 39 in Jacksonville. We're never going to get a Super Bowl like that. We're never going to get a Super Bowl in Jacksonville again, unless they change, really upgrade the stadium or get a new stadium. So I want the ticket. It's a Jacksonville item. No Eagle fan wants it. New England, I'm sure it was, it's a whatever. It's like the third Super Bowl for New England. It's not really significant. The guy wanted like $750 for it.
That is a stick up. I wouldn't touch it.
He wanted like $750 for it. I'm like, I can't do that. Even if I had $750, even if I had the money, even if I had $750 disposable.
I saw a guy had on the table a ticket, a Jets ticket stub. He wanted $75 for it because it was the Marino Spike game. And a memo to Major League Baseball and the NHL and all these other people who think they're being environmentally conscious and now have strictly digital ticketing. People save their tickets. They don't throw it away. And if they do, a little piece of paper in the garbage is not going to destroy the environment. Bring back paper tickets. People keep them. Look at my wall. Look at the wall back of me. You see that? You see that poster? You see what's in the next to that poster? You know what that is? That is the ticket stub that I used for the first game at the Prudential Center. That's where I keep it. That's what people do with the tickets that they go to games with.
I agree. I'm all for it. Jaguars got rid
of it. Look at this. Here's another thing. You know what this is? Futures game. Home Run Derby. All-Star game. 2013. People save their tickets.
Yeah, I agree. I'm all for it. I think what I think they might try and do is, because they're turning digital, I could absolutely see the NFL trying to sell NFT tickets. Yeah, but that's a whole nother story for another day. But like I said, so there were things at the convention that I saw that I really liked, but I just couldn't pull the trigger on.
There was something I almost pulled the trigger on too.
Yeah. The horseshoe.
And maybe the horseshoe. If I was rich, I would pull the trigger on that for fucking sure.
Yeah.
What's 38,000 if it's a horseshoe that was used by Secretariat?
Yeah.
I almost brought the Super Bowl VII program. I think he wanted a little too much for it. I think he wanted like 125.
Yeah.
This is going to be on my radar for something I want down the road.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's cool about the convention is like there's things that I didn't think before the convention. I didn't think about like, oh, Super Bowl 39 ticket. But
yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's nice to get these things.
Yeah. So there's definitely things that I saw that are now on my radar that I didn't even know about or think about.
I went to a card show and I didn't buy any cards. All the cards I got were basically cards. Oh, here, you can have these cards for opening them for us. Thank you.
Yeah.
The stuff I got was all memorabilia. I got lots and lots of line of action figures. I got bobbleheads.
Yeah.
I got old historic pennants.
Oh yeah. Well, I got the Seminoles pennant and the Jacksonville Sharks pennant, not the Arena football team, the World Football League team.
I love that pennant. I mean,
yeah,
as you could tell, right there.
Yeah. No,
I've had this pennant hanging in my room in one way or another for 38 years.
It was definitely a fun time. I can't wait to. I mean, next year it'll be in Atlantic City, so it'll be much closer.
Much closer.
But
in Atlantic City, you go to the convention by night, hit the casinos.
Yeah.
Maybe a trip across the Atlantic City Expressway into Philadelphia.
It'll be a heck of a trip. I can't wait for it. That's next year.
We got the boardwalk. You got Seaside Heights to the north. You got Wildwood and Cape May to the south.
It's gonna be a fun time. And until then, we're gonna be going to some card shows here and there. Obviously, definitely want to go to the card show here that they have in Jersey next time that comes up.
Well, there's a smaller card show that comes by a couple times a month. Obviously, you're going to be out when the next time happens.
Okay.
But probably September we can look to go to that.
Okay, that sounds good. And I definitely want to make it back. I told Carl this, and I think I told a couple other people. I did a 180 on Chicago. Being in Florida, the only thing we hear about Chicago is like Chicago Tribunal. Number of people shot. I love Chicago. People were nice. And that's one thing. It's a huge city, but like it wasn't like a big city where like everyone's in a rush or anything. Everyone was really nice. The food was great. Football, sports. I love Chicago.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things to do in Chicago. The Chicago Dogs want us to come out there. Minor league teams are reaching out to us left and right.
Yeah.
And of course, we got to take advantage when we do.
Oh yeah. Well, on the way up here, I think I've probably been to like 12 minor league baseball games, like 12 different minor league baseball teams in like the past month, 3 weeks to month, and I'm going to hit up some more on the way down to Nashville next week. We got Coney Island on Saturday, right?
Oh yeah, Seinfeld night.
We got to go to Coney Island on Seinfeld night. Have to do it.
And every year the Cyclones do something for Seinfeld night. I've never actually been able to really make it out to Brooklyn because it's such a long trip.
Yeah.
And you could go there by subway. But you're going to be on a subway for an hour.
Well, for Seinfeld night, it's worth it.
So this was the first time I actually went to a Cyclones game was this year.
Yeah.
And I figured maybe we go there a few hours before the game.
Yeah. Why not? Let's check out Coney Island.
Check out Coney Island. Of course, we got to avoid Famous.
Of course.
I have to avoid Famous.
Listen, Frank,
wherever
you go, I go. No. If you're avoiding Famous, we're avoiding Famous. So, well, it was a heck of a trip. Met a lot of cool people. Again, like some things got on my radar. Got some very cool pennants. Great Andre the Giant card. I was gifted. And I think our friends at Whatnot. I think we opened some packs for them, and They gave me this. I'm going to post it in a bit. I mean,
It's a beautiful card.
yeah. He said like, hey, we got something special for you. We're going to give you. And I said, all right, all right.
The Whatnot people were terrific. They couldn't have been better.
Yeah. And so, I mean,
and I just downloaded their app.
Yeah.
Too. Not that I'll ever participate in any of their auctions.
As far as like being her.
Yeah, just have their app just in case something happens, comes across my radar. Because they are great people.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, if you're, well, yeah. So got some really cool items. Just a great trip to Chicago, and that video should be out in like less than a week.
Yeah. I mean, I missed the road already, Jugs. You might think I'm crazy.
No.
Especially, but then again, it's probably because I'm watching the fucking Mets.
Yeah. You got out of town and you saw some pretty good baseball.
I mean, the Mets made me miserable watching them on the MLB app. And it's even been worse watching them today. They're so fucking frustrating. I try to get away from it as best as I can. But of course, it's like heroin. The Mets are like heroin to me. And the MLB app is my methadone.
Yeah. Well, we'll get another road trip going real soon, and I mean, football season's right around the corner. We're going to be traveling for that.
Oh yeah, we got to do some great. I think we got to do a few Saturdays in the fall.
Oh! I mean, I plan on being in many different cities in the fall. So
and even though it's the Mets, they do make a trip in September to Fenway.
Yeah, not to tease anything, but yeah, we got to make it out to Boston. Got to go hang out with Vendog, check out his old baseball glove collection, and hey, maybe he'll invite us to do some live action memes with him. That'd be pretty cool.
And then of course we got to hit Philly one of these days.
So there's so much we're doing.
That's a city. I think that's a city you got to be careful in, Philadelphia.
Oh yeah,
their fans are violent.
Yeah, no, I've heard stories. Well, we'll get to that. We'll hit the road again real soon. Minor league baseball games, hot dog reviews, Coney Island Saturday. I mean, football in the fall. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff, keeping busy for sure. But I'm tired, and I want to go to bed. So that is Barstool Units episode 29. I'm Coach Doug's. With me as always, Frank the Tank. Please, Frank, take us out.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is going on the road with Doug's, and I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Going places that I've never been. Seeing things I may never see again. And I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way. And our way is on the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again.
Click.
Click like and subscribe. This has been Units.